Hello, great people. Welcome back to Global Happenings today. We're so excited to have you again. Abakari has spoken again about his life being at risk because he is unfortunately sharing same detention facility with IPOB and ESN members. Don't forget that yesterday, according to Sahara Reporter, it was made known by his attorney that he was bragging about his non-availability skyrocketing um, issue of robbery, terrorism, and the likes in the country. That ever since he has been in prison, there had been multiple issues of banditry, robbery, and the likes. But right now, he's talking about something different, about the fear of his life, that his life is at risk because he's saying detention with criminals, and no wonder he's requesting for help. All right, we're going to give you full details of that and what Nigerians have to say in that regards. And according to the news, the suspended Deputy Commissioner of Police, DCP Abakari, says he is not safe being in detention with members of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, and Eastern Security Network, ESN, who he described as criminals. Kyari disclosed this through his lawyer, Norenin Jimo, while asking the Federal High Court in Abuja to review his bail application initially rejected. According to the document, which contained details of the suspended police officer's argument, his life is at risk for sharing the same correctional facilities with criminals that he put in jail, including IPOB/ESN members and terrorists. At the center, the applicant, who were head and deputy head of the intelligence response team of the Nigerian police force, met stiff resistance, attack, and open threats to the lives of the applicant by series head of criminal gang that they had busted. There is no correctional center that the criminals that have been arrested by the IRT under the headship of the applicant in furtherance of their constitutional and statutory duties as police officers cannot be found, and there is a high likelihood of threat to the lives of the applicant. This is not the first time Kyari would be attacking IPOP over his travel. He has, while appearing before a probe panel led by late Joseph Ebunike, the late Deputy Inspector General of Police, claimed the group and its security wing ESN were after him due to the onslaught launched against them in the southeast. The Abuja court had in March ordered that Kyari be reprimanded at Kuje prison pending the conclusion of his trial. He was arrested by the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency (NDLEA) on February 12 and was arraigned on March 7 over allegation of drug trafficking. Wow. Nigerians have come on the social media to bear their minds about this statement made by him. Someone here says, this Taylor drug peddler is shameless. What even gave an entity like him voice to speak upon all his numerous crimes that he committed? Those who call criminals should be the ones scared of a bigger criminal like you. Another person here says, this Baron, who doubled as a fraudster, just mentioned that he is not a criminal, as if those drugs he was dealing with don't transfer indirectly to criminals and IPOB and ESN members. This one here says karma is real. He has finally made those he imprisoned illegally. Another one here says instead of him to be making clothes for them so that he can have peace, he is there complaining. Wow, this other person said, and you are not a criminal too. Karma is dangerous. IPOB members in prison and Nigerian army released 51,000 Boko Haram. IPOB members shouldn't be there in the first place. Say you get combat skills, super cop them never mean you properly. This one here says the situation he has found himself is a worrisome one. No one can really tell what would happen to him. Another person here says, sharing detention with criminal. What are you now? You are a bigger criminal who should be detained in an isolated dungeon. Wow, a lot of people are commenting there. But you know, what goes around comes around. We've been saying that severally because when you go all out for innocent people and treat people like animal, whether they are thieves or whether they are not thieves. Don't forget that if you are carrying out equity with a dirty hand, so one day, it will be your turn, because exactly that was what he was doing. Imagine the lot of issues that was brought up against him, and which they were already proofs on ground that those things that was said were actually correct. There's nothing he can do than to stay there. Like someone says, maybe those guys have not done the needful yet to him, to put his life right. Because I imagine the level of deceit for so many years. Me personally, I thought that it was truly a super cop who is dreaded and feared, for his super performance in terms of digging out criminals and fraudsters and whatever. But unfortunately, he was part and parcel of them. The shocking aspect is having the mind to deal with these people when you know that you are even worse than them. That is the unbelievable thing. The criminals are actually your colleagues. The only thing is that you people were not in the same, same school. They are exactly his colleagues, because if he had the mind to be doing what he did to people who were his colleagues, when he knew that actually he was in the same class with them, was a pointer to the fact that he never believed in his life that they will unravel him very soon. He should be reminded that for now, whether he likes it or he is a criminal suspect, because already there are provable evidence on ground pointing towards that direction. If you do not want to meddle with criminals, why did you get engaged in the kind of activities that they also carry out? Your own activity that you did, well, it doesn't mean that it was different from what they did. And unfortunately, some of those guys who are there that everybody is classifying as criminal, unfortunately, some of them are not. Just that people who have power, dealt with them and threw them into prison. Some of them have not gone for trial from inception. They are just there, not even knowing what their future looks like. So for me, all of that, classifying all of them as criminal is a big lie. What we know is that for him, as far as Nigerians are concerned, he goofed greatly. What he did was just out of it. Someone here says, how are we even sure that the guy is not sleeping in the prison? Because this is Nigeria, everything is possible. Honestly, I would love our journalists to investigate if truly this guy is sleeping in prison. That's a good one, because we know that Nigeria, anything can happen. I want to say bloody criminal. I wish those innocent men you put in jail could get a firm hold of you, even for a minute. Then you will know how disgraced you are. People are not happy with the guy at all. Another person here says this guy is chilling at home. Only the gullible will think that he is in the detention center. We do not know how true that is, but I believe that with time, everything will be exposed. That's where we would like to leave it. Go to our comment section.